Hello and welcome. You're on with Doc and Mike. We're so happy to have you today. And today we will be discussing why is a white man on a black woman's podcast?
Are you asking me?
I am asking you.
Well, I'll tell you why a white man is on a black woman's podcast is basically because I want to, I'm a little bit selfish. I want to learn about something I don't know about. I don't necessarily know about the black woman. I know black women. I know a lot of black women. I know a lot of black people. And, just because I know a lot of black people doesn't mean I necessarily know about their culture or not even so much their culture, but their community. And I think that when we don't know, we obviously assume, and that's how a lot of stereotypes get started.
Yes. You
absolutely. Always see it online. It's the same, it's the usual suspects. And it's a dig.
Good, yeah. And so what I'm hearing is that you're here to not only learn the story of the black woman, but for us to feel heard, for us to have a voice, and for you to understand some of our struggles, what that feels like, to be a listening ear and stand beside me as I tell my story as support. And so I appreciate you and I applaud you for that, because that's very brave. Right? Because sometimes black women in particular that may watch this, they may feel like, oh, she's siding with the oppressor, or she has a white man on her podcast. She's trading sides.
You do? Go ahead.
She's trading sides. But really, in reality, what we're trying to do is bridge the gap.
Right.
Like, in this year of 2025, we want to get rid of the sides. We want there to be some camaraderie, some togetherness, some understanding.
Right. And I think we may have touched on this just a little bit, but I am in no way, shape, or form the leader of the white people. It's nothing like that. It's just, I feel like that, A, I can learn something. B, I can help others learn something, and we can really, really open up good dialogue instead of allowing others to separate us.
Right. And as black women, we're healing from perception, right? We're healing from the world seeing us as being aggressive, rude, brash. We're healing from that. We're healing from performance. Always feeling like we have to be on.
Right.
We're healing from competition, right? Especially in the workplace. So there are a lot of things and stereotypes that we're trying to heal from. And so you're not the only man that we want to be heard by. We want to be heard by the world, by men of all colors, all sizes, all creeds. We want there to be
and I don't think it's just men, I think it's women.
Women as well, yes, absolutely. Women as well.
So I'm gonna flip this. If there was one thing that you wanted to, what would be the first thing that would come to mind that you would want to tell a white man from it? What would you want to tell a white man that may not get it?
I would want to say that black women deserve the same level of emotional safety. We deserve the same level of emotional security and respect that all other women get on this earth. I think that when black women show their emotions, we're seen as being aggressive, as being rude, or condescending. But I think that anger and passion is synonymous for us. And the way that we express ourselves is just cultural. It's not. It may not be the same way that other women express themselves. But we deserve to be welcomed with open arms as well, and not pushed off and said, oh, she got it, she can do it, she can handle it. Because that's what people assume for all Black women is that we're strong enough to handle the struggle. Well, we don't want to handle the struggle anymore.
Right.
We want to be comforted, and given the opportunity to be soft, because we're sharing responsibility. It's not all on us anymore.
Right. Okay. Now, and I'm not trying to hijack this, but what has somebody that is like me, a white man, done to you personally that you would feel like this, that they would make you feel like this? Because I know me personally, and I know this sounds cliche, I really, really honestly don't necessarily see color. I see people, and I don't know if this is just how I was raised or how my mindset, but I know that there are men out there. Now, is it equally white men? Or is it Black men? Is it Asian men? Is it men in general that treat Black women like this?
I think that Black women primarily, and there are statistics on this, Black women are treated poorly across the board. They're seen as competition because we are strong. They're not seen as the fragile flower, the woman that needs to be loved and comforted. I believe that men see us as their equal, and their goal is not sometimes to pursue us and love us, but to pursue us and destruct us, and that's the unfortunate thing. And so what I am trying to do with this podcast is really remove that stigma of the strong Black woman, because it's destructive to us. It's destructive to our families. Like, we're not trying to go toe to toe with men. We've been strong because we've had to. This has been our story, and it goes all the way back to slavery, as we talked about in some of our earlier videos, where our men were taken away from us and we were forced to do all the jobs. The man's part of the work and the women's part of the work. We were forced into those roles. And those roles for us just stuck because they started to glamorize these roles and put them on film, and then it kind of brainwashed our women into believing that being a strong Black woman is a badge of honor. And so we have wore that for so long, and we have bore we have had that cape on for such a long time that we have started to have health issues. A lot of our Black women are having heart attacks and strokes and all of these different things earlier and earlier. Like, those are things that we thought we have years before we experienced it. Now we're seeing, I'm seeing women my age having those experiences because they're tired. They're burned out, they're exhausted, they're disconnected from their bodies and from their minds. They are so broken they can't even articulate what their needs and wants are, because we've constantly been, a part of the rat race and on this hamster wheel of not having support. Everybody believes that, okay, we got it. The Black woman got it. Well, you know what? The truth is that any woman could have it. But why is it a requirement for Black women? Why are we seen that way? And so it's not just white men that are seeing us like this. It's our own Black men, and it's coming from trauma, and for some Black men it could be the mother womb. But we really have to start voicing our concerns about this and not allow it to go any further, like make that buck stop here.
Okay, hearing all of that, I certainly, just as a person, I empathize and I sympathize because I don't know what that's like. And hearing it does definitely open up my eyes because I don't know why. My question is why won't Black women get out from underneath that? Since we live in a free country, it's not 1864 anymore. There are chances. There's Why are you still underneath that?
That's a very good question, and I'll tell you why. It's because society has raised us culturally, Black women, to pour into everyone else. You know, our families have raised us to be mothers and nurturers of everyone else except ourselves. So we get in, and especially when you're in survival mode, when you grow up in survival mode, you are maybe the caretaker at a very young age. You're taking care of your young siblings. You're taking care of the house if your parents have jobs and so forth. And so you take on all of the responsibilities and the role of a mother way before your time, right? And so you carry those burdens, and you grow older still being in survival mode. And a lot of times we attract partners that are a reflection of our childhood. So we get into relationships where we're trying to nurture the partner and control the partner and get that partner to be what you want them to be, because you're repeating the cycle. And so some of our Black women don't even realize that this is what is happening, because we've never been taught to focus on ourselves.
Okay, and that makes sense.
Yeah, we've been condemned. You know, whenever we try to focus on ourselves, we're called selfish, we're condemned for it, we're made to feel guilty. And so we're forced into relationships where, oh, don't give up on him, he has potential, you know, stick by him. I think that our culture has normalized riding the struggle bus in the relationship,
right,
before getting to
I get it.
the glorious, harmonious relationship with this person.
Okay, so I've seen families, it's not necessarily a race thing, it's not white, Black, or whatever, or Hispanic. I have seen families that for generations are on welfare. And I feel like at some point in time, it is what it is. And that's the mindset is this is just how it's supposed to be. I'm not going to, and that's not a dig on anyone on welfare. I completely applaud social assistance. I've been on it. One of the best days of my life was when I got off of it and I actually paid my rent with my money that I made. I was in a tight spot. There are a lot of people, though, that they feel like this is just how I was raised. This is my grandmother. This is my mom. This is me. This is just who we are. So that's what I'm hearing with the strong Black woman. This is who we are. But it's exhausting. You're just like stuck. You're a BB in a boxcar, just going around without any control of. You have that control. You just don't feel it. Mm-hmm. Am I correct when I say this?
Yeah, I think that
it's not making it right or wrong. But I feel like what you're trying to do is you're putting the brakes on that. You're saying, hey, we don't have to be like this. Hey, we don't have to be this way.
Yes. My goal is to interrupt, right? To interrupt our thought patterns and change our mindsets. And I think that a lot of times women are not exposed to more. They are not taught to dream, to right. want more. Especially if you grow up in a toxic, trauma-driven environment, you don't have the space to dream or to actually feel your own feelings because you're trying to survive.
And I'm going to go one step further. I can respect that thought process because I don't have it. I have a different thought process. As a man, and I 100% do not, and I would implore anyone else that does, that would discount your feelings or your emotions or your take on this, I don't discount it at all. I respect it because now I understand it, because I don't feel like you're just saying this because you want a pity party, that it truly is something. You have statistics to back it up. Helen Keller could see that there's an issue here. And then what we have to do as people, we have to lift you up out of this. That doesn't mean we lift you up higher than us, but if you're in a ditch, we need to lift you up to us. Mm-hmm. If we don't have that, because I do have my own, as a man, I have my own set of issues, but these are all issues that aren't necessarily brought on the same way yours are. As a man, and this is just me, I feel like men should work, men should take care of their family, men should be at home with their children, not stay at home necessarily with their children. If that's what they do, that's what they do. But now if mom's out working, then yes, men should be at home with their children. Men need to tend to their families. Men need to do their job and take care of their responsibilities. But you have been shouldered with a completely, not just your role, as you might put it, but you've been shouldered with everything else as well. Yeah. And it's exhausting. And I can see that.
Yeah. Yeah.
When I talk to you, when I finally hear it, I can see that. Mm-hmm. And I can see that what you're trying to tell the other black women, that it's almost like strong black woman is a euphemism. It's almost like it's maybe not a euphemism. It's a title that you really didn't need to earn, but it's a title that you don't have to have anymore, that you can break away from that.
Yeah. And I think that going back to slavery, what has happened with us moving forward in black culture and in society is that black men have grown to expect black women to do all of these things, mm-hmm. and be all of these things. And it's almost like a level of entitlement that they have, that they want us to be in the driver's seat. And this has caused a lot of the family structures to break down, especially now that I've written my book, The Queen's Order. I have a lot of women coming forward and they're having the same dynamic. This dynamic is so repetitious. It's like, wow, it needs to be studied. Black women pour into the black man and his potential that he never ever seems to reach. They pour to the point of depletion where they hit their own rock bottoms, and the man doesn't respond with love and care and his in a need to evolve. He responds with more destruction, more pain, more hurt. Mm-hmm. He responds in a very toxic way, because what we see is help, like, oh, if I overfunction, if I love him, if I lift him up, he will love me more. And that's really not how it happens. He begins to resent the fact that you're strong enough and even capable enough to help him. But in his mind, he is seeing it as you're being controlling, you're like his mother, you're emasculating him, you're not creating space for him to be a man. But in our minds, we're helping.
Okay, so now here's the big question is, yes, there was slavery and that sort of thing. I mean, it's all across the history. I mean, there's been slaves for 2,000 years. Would you blame this more on, in a weird way, would you blame this on the older, strong black women for raising their sons to be like this? I can't, and I know that you're not saying all black men are like this, because that would be like me saying, me saying, all certain groups are. Then we're stereotyping.
I wouldn't blame them and say they created these black men, I would say we repeated a cycle because our black men weren't in the house a lot.
Okay, so you're just bringing understanding. You're not pointing fingers, and and at this point, I think you're right to not point fingers. I think that's how things get so skewed. We point fingers all the time. We point fingers at who's the one person that we point fingers at all the time in this country. And it's not necessarily the one that's in office right now. It's across the board. We always point fingers at the president.
Yeah.
The gas prices, the eggs, this, that. And we never ever point fingers at how many people in Congress.
Yeah.
So we never point fingers at those people that really have a lot of power.
Yeah. Yeah, I wouldn't say pointing a finger. I would just say that we need to put a finger on what has constantly been repeated. And so that we can break the cycle. And so what has happened, there are lots of men that in their minds, they want to be great men, but they did not have a father in the house.
Mm-hmm.
They were not raised by a man. They have never seen a healthy man, in their lives. They've not had a healthy relationship with a man. Mm-hmm. And so it's very difficult for them to be what they didn't see. And so what ends up happening is that this man that has lacked that fatherhood, that connection with his own father, he gets in a world, he attracts a partner that is a reflection of his mother. And instead of his partner being his hot wife or a girlfriend or fiance or whatever, she is his mother. And he resents her, and I don't think that we sit with ourselves enough to develop the mental capacity to wrap our heads around what's being repeated. Mm-hmm. And so those cycles continue.
Okay. In the interest of time and a cliffhanger, maybe so to speak, I can't tell you how much I appreciate you allowing me to be here and allowing me to be able to do this with you. And I have learned something today. I truly have learned something today. Because when I come on here, we turn on the cameras and all the stuff, I really, really want to be organic in my thinking. I really want to learn something new. And I have today. And I can appreciate that. And I appreciate you that much more. And I'm looking forward to sharing with others along the pike. Hopefully people will like, share, and subscribe and all that good stuff. With, our little journey on you trying to make a change. Instead of pointing fingers, you were making a change.
Yeah.
And you're helping others make a change. And for me, being able to learn something new every time that we do this, it means a lot to me, because I'm not necessarily just curious. I feel like I'm asking questions that a lot of people are afraid to ask, and they don't have to be asked in a manner of, well, what about this and what about that? I just want to ask because I don't know. And I think it's a lot easier. Me and you we are different, but we're not that different. We're people.
Yeah.
We're just from different paths.
Yeah.
So I appreciate that. Of course.
Okay. Well, I'm sure you all have been enlightened and enjoyed what you heard today. Please don't forget to subscribe to Doc and Mike, and like, love, and share this video. Leave your comments below, ask questions, let us know what you would like to hear next, and we will be happy to oblige. See you next time.